And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like Lou Ferrigno, Arnold, okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay. Hey.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go out place everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go. We head to Kroger's, and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. oh God! And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes.
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you know you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but you know.
Wait, hold up.
You got.
I gotta
when it's
try
time,
this with you.
when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try this
you gotta
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
Just a sexy eye right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Each words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up weekdays. Catch us live, somebody, let's go.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are doing well out there and enjoying your time. Woo! It's Tuesday, baby. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It doesn't mean anything except Monday part 2. It's Monday part 2, everybody. It's the end of Tuesday. We're marching right into Hump Day, and I'm very happy about it. I can't explain how happy I am about it, but I am very, 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 very happy about it. You know what I'm saying? So, hope everybody's good. I see Mark Jones. I see Shay. I see Yellow Man. I see Lady Justice. I see Nikki. I see No. I see everybody who's coming in. Shout out to everybody who's coming in and being a part of the conversation. Evening to all y'all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Good evening. Hopefully you guys are all having a positive and wonderful one today. Hopefully you guys did some really dope things today. That's all I got to say. Hopefully y'all did kicked today in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you kicked today in the ass. Kicked some ass and did a wonderful thing. Anyway, man, there's been so many things. Like, there was a lot of things I wanted to talk about today, but I had to go off to a meeting. I had to adult hard today. You know what I'm saying? I had some things to do. You know, your man runs a business outside of this business. You feel me? So, you know, I had to do a couple things so I can keep the lights on, if you will. Keep things moving and everything. And I'm I'm hoping that all y'all are tuning in, starting to file in and all that. Be sure to get those likes all the way up. That would really, really mean a lot to me. Let people know about this show and all this good stuff. You know the deal. Hit the like button, crush that subscribe button. You know the deal. As you guys already know, right before I went off, look at all that hair on my shoulder. You know, when I did a video right before I left. Right before I took off. And lucky for you, Yellow Man, that today is the end of the week for you. Lucky for you. That's a very interesting work week, by the way. And we're going to have to understand or learn a little bit more about that as time goes on. But I'm glad that this is your time to kick up your feet and chill. You know what I mean? Just kick it. Just kick it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad about that. But anyway, moving on to the main, one of the main topics today, because today's show is going to be a fairly short one. I will be opening up the phone lines a little bit later on in this evening's show. I promise you that. So keep your fingers ready for the dial when I'm ready to go. But we do have to cover a few things. There's a few things I didn't get to do yesterday, and there's a few things that happened today. I broke the story today. Tiger Woods was injured in a rollover car crash. Real talk. And of course, you know, when I broke the news, there was only so much information that I knew about. I didn't know everything because there was still news trickling out. You know what I'm saying? They had only said that he was in critical condition, and that his car had rolled over. No one else was injured in the car, because he was driving solo dolo. Thank you, Jesus, for that. And they had to use the jaws of life to get him out of the car. And you know, when they say jaws of life, that be real ting. That be a real ting. So I was sitting there, fingers crossed, going, oh my God, not right now. Not right now. Not another one, man. Not another one. Well, comes the show, or here's an update. Looks like he's doing okay. He's going to do okay. We got a little video that we got to look at. You know, I'm going to let my man Lester Holt, my boy, my man, my dog right here, explain the rest of the story. Let's take a listen.
On the air with breaking news. It has to do with golf superstar Tiger Woods, who has been injured in a serious car accident in Palos Verdes, California, just outside Los Angeles. Woods has been hospitalized, reportedly with multiple leg injuries, and is undergoing surgery. It's not yet clear how seriously he's been injured, but we do know the SUV he was driving, he was the sole occupant, went off the road and rolled over shortly after 7 this morning, California time, leaving it seriously damaged and forcing first responders to use the Jaws of Life power tool to extricate him from the wreck.
It's crazy.
Gotti Schwartz is in Los Angeles and has more reporting on this. Gotti, what do we know?
Hey, good evening, Lester. Yeah, looking at that video from the helicopters above, you get a sense of just how violent this crash was. We know that Tiger Woods was the only person inside this SUV, and the Jaws of Life were used. And when you look at that crash, you can see why. It appears as though the entire engine of the front of that SUV has been almost sheared off. Now, we're getting a little bit of a sense as to what might have happened from some of the debris that's nearby. It appears as though this happened on Hawthorne Boulevard in Palos Verdes, and we're getting a little bit of a better picture from some of that debris field. It appears as though he was traveling northbound, crossed southbound, crashed into some sign that was sitting in the median and ended up quite a ways away, facing the opposite direction up on that embankment, with all of the airbags appear to have been deployed. And again, the entire engine from that car or from that SUV is missing. Now, we know he was here in California for a 2-day television shoot after hosting the PGA Tour Genesis Invitational over the weekend. Part of that included giving some well-known celebrities like Dwayne Wade and David Spade golf lessons yesterday. All of that was happening at the Rolling Hills golf course. Again, this crash happened at about 7 o'clock in the morning. It's unclear if he was headed to the Rolling Hills golf course or possibly headed away from the Rolling Hills golf course. But at this point, we know that he's got extensive injuries to both his legs, according to his agent, and is undergoing emergency surgery at Harborview Hospital. So that's the latest we have on his condition. But just taking a look at the damage on that vehicle, again, you can imagine what kind of injuries he must have had with his legs near that cavity where the engine was, and all those airbags deployed, the Jaws of Life being used to pull him out of the vehicle once emergency responders first got there.
Yeah,
now, real quick before we finish this news clip, I just have to point something out. And they already said it in the very beginning, and I agree. Look at the front. Look at the front of the car. Completely thrashed. Just completely torn out. This is insane, right? Now, the other thing I want to point out is that this is not some foreign, like, this is a Chrysler. If this emblem is right, if my emblems are right, you know what I mean, makes of cars and their emblems and stuff, this is a Chrysler. It has, like, it's not like this was some fast foreign car that was blazing down the road, a 2-seater type thing. So what was going on in the car that would make him literally flip like this? You know, unless he was like dodging somebody, maybe because I understand that he was speeding. He was most definitely speeding. But yeah, Shay, this is not a road penis. No, it is not. It is not overcompensating for something else type of car. This is just a regular 4-door Chrysler, if I'm correct. It looks like it's a company car, like it was given to him by somebody else. So it wasn't even, you know what I'm saying? Wasn't even a real ride. You feel me? It wasn't like a Porsche, Lamborghini, any of that stuff, a Bentley, Maserati, etc. None of that. Just a regular Chrysler. Or at least this is what it looks like with the emblem here. It looks like it's a Chrysler. So what is it? What was he doing that would make him blaze down the road?
Remarkable. The front end of that vehicle just obliterated. All right, Gotti Schwartz, thank you. Also standing by for us is Mike Tirico of NBC Sports. Mike, there's no bigger name in golf than Tiger Woods. You may or may not know the game, but you certainly know who he is.
We all do, Lester, without question. Tiger's been a part of the sports conversation really for 3 decades. He came out way back as a youth on the old Mike Douglas TV show. His dad always wanted him to be a golfer, and he was out there with Bob Hope hitting golf balls at a very young age. And Tiger's been on the stage. He's been in the headlines for his play. He's been in the headlines for things that have gone wrong off the golf course. He has been involved in multiple surgeries. He had just a couple of months ago had his fifth procedure on his back. His back and neck and knee injuries have really shorted what was on the pace to be the greatest career in the sport. Some may say it still is. He's won 82 times, as much as anyone, tied with Sam Snead for the all-time record. 15 major championships. Jack Nicklaus has won 18. But Lester, it's the crossover. It's the fact that no matter golf fan or not, you know who Tiger Woods is. You recognize him, not just here in the States and around the world. It has everybody buzzing here today.
A towering figure in sports indeed. All right, Mike Tirico, thanks again.
Now, I mean, obviously, the story is going to continue. They're going to be the story is going to keep developing as time goes. From my understanding, one of the officers that was there had broken the story that he was speeding, like he was literally just flying down the road. But they haven't said anything in regards to maybe he was on drugs, maybe he was under the influence of some sort, something like just a little, like something. You know what I mean? We just don't know yet. T's in the house. What do you think on this, man?
Hey, this is good evening, everybody. This is definitely breaking news for me. I'm just shocked that this happened. I mean, I know things happen, but this came out of nowhere, and I was enjoying Tiger's comeback, and I was hoping that he would have a life that was more of a straight and narrow going forward.
Yeah.
You know, with the scandals and his divorce and all those things. So, it's another road bump in life that we all go through, and hopefully he makes a full recovery.
Yes.
I'm just curious to know the urgency behind, his driving today. And I wonder what was going on, where he had to get somewhere that quickly, where he almost, killed himself, unfortunately.
Yeah. There's a lot to say here because, he became famous. He had a beautiful wife with beautiful kids, but then he started running off the boozy. And the boozy is actually a composer, just so you know. But it's just code word for something else. He was running after the boozy. So the thing is like, then, of course, that tarnished his name, tarnished his whole legacy. He was on his way back, and now this accident happens. And, I heard that he's, and this is all hearsay, but I've heard that he had some drinking issues and, he has some, dependency on alcohol. I don't know if he's kicked that habit or not. So we're only going to have to wait and see where this how this develops. He may have been sober as a judge. He may have been sober as hell. But I don't know. Out of nowhere, 7 o'clock in the morning, you're driving and I'm not sitting here saying that driving that Chrysler, driving that regular 4-door car, that you can't flip that car. You definitely can flip that car, but you got to drive fast. Regardless, you have to be driving fast. And clearly he was driving fast, but why was he driving so damn fast? Unless he, like I said, had a bender the night before, jumped in the car, realized that he was late for some shoot or something like that, blazing down the road. Maybe he was trying to swerve out of the way of a turtle? I don't know. Like a dog? A person? A jogger? You never know. I mean, literally, you just don't know. So with this happening, it's crazy. You know what I mean? I
always assume that, that's just, I guess it's just me, but like celebrities can easily, I would think, call a driver up to take them somewhere quickly. Especially if you know you're not in your right, mindset, or you're not feeling your greatest. You can just call a driver. I have to be somewhere by this time. Can you get here and take me? But maybe not. Maybe he figured it's faster if he gets in the car himself and drives.
True.
But if he's inebriated or he's just not feeling so well, there's no point in risking your life. There's just not.
None.
Or someone else's life on the road as well.
No point. at all. No point. I mean, Debbie just said fight with his girl. Maybe he did have a fight with his girl, and he just got into the car and drove off angry. You know what I'm saying? You know, he could have been having a Rocky IV moment. You know what I'm saying? Like just having an angry drive. You know, listening to some music, banging it out, and then all of a sudden, boom, flipped his car. That's a possibility too. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and we're never going to fully know until he actually comes out of surgery in one piece and is able to tell us his story. And of course, they're going to be doing, I'm sure they're doing toxicology tests on him, etc., checking the car to see if there's anything in there, because it just doesn't make any sense that he's by himself in the car, and all of a sudden the car rolled, and the car was so damaged to the point where, and he was so crunched into the car that they had to use jaws of life to get him out of the car. You had to have been going so fast. And I hate to go down that route, but you must have been on some serious something. Or you may have passed out, fallen asleep on the wheel.
Yeah.
That's a good possibility too. Couldn't be anything else. He could have just literally could have just passed out. Not drug or alcohol related. He could have literally just passed out, boom. That could happen. That could literally happen. So the possibilities are most definitely endless. But of course, thoughts and prayers go to his family, to him and his family. Let us have him have a speedy recovery, because we don't want to have another great, another pioneer in a sport go in a tragic way. Please, not right now. We ain't got time for this. Real talk.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's
I was just watching.
much.
I think it was maybe a month or so ago. He was his son was playing in a tournament. You know, I think it was a father or son like a duel.
Yeah.
Versus and his son was pretty good. Like he had like an eagle, I believe it was. Yeah, I mean, you know, to see that ability passed down to his child. You know, and watching those two bond on the golf course.
Yeah.
And you think back to Tiger and his father, how that
True.
was. So and to see
Very,
that
very
legacy
true.
continue, you know, those things are always good to see. Positive stories about, you know, people that you watch grow up and become famous, and then their children are next.
Yeah. And you know, it's terrible. And I'm hoping, like, more importantly, more than anything in the world, I think a lot of us are hoping that he'll be able to play golf again. I think that's one of the things that I think we're all going to be worried about is how is he going to come back out of this injury? He is having multiple surgeries on both feet, on both legs, both of them. He has 2 broken legs and 1 broken ankle, from my understanding. And they have just been performing nothing but back-to-back surgeries on his legs. So hopefully he's going to be okay, but you never know. He may not ever play professionally ever again. But people say a lot of things, and then that person proves everyone wrong. So you never know. He might bounce back from this with ease. You know what I'm saying? And Immortal, I could see that happening in the near future as well. You know, so hopefully they tread lightly with him in regards to pain pills and all that. And we'll see. But we got to jump into this a little bit of a left turn. Remember Ted Cruz? Remember Ted Cruz? Actually, I need to pull this other video up because this is just everything I needed to be and more. Okay. All right. As you guys already know, Ted Cruz. If you haven't, if you're new to the show, hello. That's all I'm going to say. First off, if you're new to the show, you haven't been watching the show, you already know how I feel. You already know how I feel about Ted Cruz and about the whole issue of him going out of town, flying to Cancun during the time where millions of Texans are freezing, starving, and fighting for their lives. Freezing to death, starving to death, and fighting for their lives, okay? There have been people who have died. So many really terrible, sad stories like the ones I've told you guys before where an older gentleman literally, died, froze to death in his recliner in his own home alone. 11-year-old boy was holding his 3-year-old brother and died overnight by freezing to death because they didn't have any heat in their mobile home. the day before he played in the snow for the very first time. These terrible stories are circulating. More and more stories are coming out. But what's really interesting is Ted Cruz, just a little recap. Ted Cruz goes out to Cancun, gets into a plane with his privileged-ass family, and flies out to Cancun, basically going, oh, well, we got things to do. What are we going to do? What can we do while we're here? We're freezing our nuts off. Let's leave. So they get into a plane, they fly off. But, technology's a mother lover, ain't it? And he gets caught on camera. People taking photos of him saying, oh my God, this is Ted Cruz going to Cancun when he should be in Texas trying to figure out what the hell is going on. Right? So, real quick, he finds out about all this this kerfuffle that's happening in America because we're all dragging him through the dirt. Shards of glass, sprinkling salt and lemon and Tabasco sauce in every single one of his wounds while he's in Cancun. So he goes, oh, damn. Might be a good idea if I turn my ass around and go back to Texas. He does so. He lands the same day that he left, he came back. And he goes on this song and dance basically saying, my children wanted to go there. So I went to escort my children to Cancun. Well, the funny thing is his wife is a fairly responsible human being, I would assume. I mean, she is the wife of Senator Ted Cruz. So I'm thinking that she can handle a couple kids to fly over to Cancun and enjoy a margarita or two and get a tan and get warm, right? So we only find out that this dude is straight up lying. His wifey is sending out text messages to other friends of privilege, basically saying, hey, any of you guys want to go out of town to go to Cancun? We found a really great place, no capacity, $300 a night, and a partridge in a pear tree, and it's not in Texas while you freeze your ass off. See what I'm saying? So, this group text gets leaked, okay? So, finally, over this weekend, the family comes back. The family comes back. And there's a little bit of a story on that. I'm going to show you that, guys, but this is a little bit of I would say a palate cleanser. So the family comes back home. And of course, there's a lot of people that are hating on Ted Cruz right now. Just angry as hell. So much that they do this. A mariachi band. Oh my God. Yes. Right outside his door. Hey. It is gorgeous. Whoever did this is a freaking genius. Thank you so much for doing that, because they deserve that. They absolutely deserve that. Now I want some nachos. Now I really want like salted rim margaritas right now.
That's an awesome troll right there. Like, that's how you troll somebody.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
That was such a genius move right there.
It's gorgeous.
Epic.
Hey. Anyway, you get the idea. Feels really good. It feels really good. Damn, does it feel good. Anyway, the three amigos. You know what I'm saying? El guapo. The three amigos. Come on, y'all. Come on. So, there's more to this story, okay? It's still... There's much more to this story, which is what I'm going to pull up here. Hold up. So, remember what I told you guys about this whole group text message that his wife sent out, right? So, let's look at this article. I had to show you the little bit of that. You know what I'm saying? Little enchiladas. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, oh my God. Like I said, I really want a shot of tequila right now and some Nachos. It just sounds really good right now. Anyway, some tortilla chips, you know what I'm saying? You know? Okay. I reloaded. Wrong country. Anyway, so Ted Cruz says wife is pissed because of the group text about their Cancun trip was leaked. Oh my God, I can't speak. And tells Democrat neighbors, don't be a-holes. And claims that the politics have become nasty. So he said that this leak pissed him off and pissed his wife off. Okay, and of course, you know, he's been faced with serious backlash after photos emerged of the couple and their two children, Caroline, who is 12, and Catherine, who is 10, flying out of the state while millions struggled without power, heat, and water during the deadly storm. And you already know the stories I just told you about. There's many other people that died, many other sad stories that were happening on this situation. Now, he was recently on a podcast called Ruthless, where Republican Cruz told host John Holmes, told him this. I'm just going to play the video. I'm just going to play the audio. Let's take a listen.
Yeah, I will say Heidi's pretty that. She actually was over to a neighbor's house yesterday, sort of walking through. So she texted several of our neighbors. Now, look, our neighbors, we've got a number of Republicans who are neighbors, but we also have a number of Democrats. Right. And so, you know, with folks on our street who put up Beto signs, which I thought was a little rude. But
that's what you get.
I didn't like hold a victory party in their front yards when we won. So, you know, I was, look, obviously it's a sign of how ridiculously politicized and nasty and just, here's a suggestion. Just don't be just, treat each other as human beings, have some degree, some modicum of respect.
Oh.
Heidi and I have lots of friends who are Democrats and
really? Interesting. Basically, he's basically saying oh, my wife has black friends. This is just ridiculous. You know? Just stop being assholes. Just stop being assholes. It's just so politicized. Everything's just become so politicized. You made this bed, my brother. Why are you complaining about it? You seem to be all comfy as hell when you're talking about election such and such. And now when the pendulum is swung back and smacked you right in the balls, now you're sitting there going, it's just so terrible how the politics are nowadays. Everything's so weaponized. It's unfair. Just stop being assholes. What? You made this bed. You lie in it. Period. Period, boo. That's it. T, what are your thoughts on this, my brother?
Period, boo.
Periods. Periods, boo. What are your thoughts, man?
It's simply an insult to the American citizens that we're going to, sit here and believe his rhetoric. He's definitely had too many tacos, for sure. Down in Mexico, because
he had no tacos. He was there for 2 seconds and took standby. He's just bitter. He's bitter. He couldn't go and get wasted and have some vacation sex with wifey. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what it was. He's like, babe, you and I, we can get as loud as we want to tonight. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And now he's going, oh, damn. Damn.
He's mad he got caught. He's mad he got, it all ended abruptly. So, I mean, it was very sleazy of him to try to, go out the back door to go to Mexico, in the middle of a crisis situation. And then try to blame his kids, like, listen, my kids were cold. They wanted to vacay. I figured I had the time to do it. Come on, man. Like, we're not idiots.
See,
we're not.
Thank you. He the one who's sitting there going he takes like a he's putting, or he takes a jump shot or something like that, and he'll sit there and go, it's the wind. It was the wind. Freaking wind. Just don't be assholes about it, guys. It was the wind. It's like, come on, y'all. Come on, shut up.
Those windmills in Texas, right?
Yeah. He will blame. If he got caught cheating, he was just knee deep, you know what I mean? All up in it, caught mid thrust. Okay? He would blame the girl that he's banging, being like, it's all your fault. You did it. You picked this place. It's your fault. He wouldn't take the blame for himself. He's an idiot.
Oh, man.
Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It's ridiculous. That he's literally trying to spin this around, making it, why can't we all just get along? No, man, you made this bed. You made this bed. You made this bed. And you were loving it for 4 years. But he's never going to take responsibility for his actions. That sounds so familiar, doesn't it? Oh, it does. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it sounds very familiar. Some other dudes, plural, not singular, plural. And it's just an ongoing thing. It's like a freaking, what's the word? It's like I say all the time, it's more infectious than the Rona. Real talk. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You know? But there you go. There you have it, guys. That little story about Ted mother-loving Cruz with his stupid age.
Ted.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying one more time.
You bring a sauce in your seat right there?
Finger guns. You see what I'm saying? Hey. Okay, I'm done. All right. Like I said, it's making me thirsty and making me very hungry. I'm just thinking about enchiladas and tacos. You know, cabron. Anyway, moving on. Be sure to hit that. Be sure to hit that like button down below, please. You guys got me sweating. I'm sweating now. You know what I'm saying? I be sweating. Okay.
Like and subscribe just for Pascal's dance in his chair right now. That's all we want to see. It's more of that.
Órale! Órale, cabrón! You know what I mean? Yeah, ¿dónde están mis pantalones, por favor? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. They don't like the dancing. That's why I only have 57 likes right now. They don't like the dance. They're like, bruh, just get to the news. Shut up. Just get to the damn news. Just stop. Okay? Okay. So I'm moving on. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, moving on. So Tiger Woods, y'all, he's in good shape right now, or he is being mended back together again, which is good. We just talked about Ted Cruz and his lame ass, but we got to talk about this whole story about the Muppets. I'm still trying to understand it myself. Real talk, I'm still trying to understand it. Because allegedly, the Muppets have now put up a disclaimer before their shows. Before the Muppet Show, there is an offensive disclaimer that's warning the viewers of its offensive content. I don't get this. And we talked about it. Yeah, I'm confused. I'm confused as hell. Now, we talked about it in yesterday morning's show, but it was like in passing, and I was sitting there going, nah, that can't be real. That's stupid. This can't be real. That can't be real. And then all of a sudden, David sent me the link, and I was like, oh my God, this is actually a real story. And I actually went to Disney Plus because I have Disney Plus. Yes, I'm one of the only few people left that have Disney Plus now because everybody, of course, is feeling some type of way about Gina Carano and all that. And hey, it's your prerogative, whatever you want to do. I don't care. You can keep the Disney thing or no, okay? But Disney Plus warns viewers that the Muppet Show includes offensive content. So I went there to see if there was like a thing, and I went to the first few episodes and I didn't see any disclaimers, but I've been seeing other people actually see disclaimers. So this is very interesting to me. So let's look at this. Disney Plus is warning viewers that some episodes of The Muppet Show feature negative depictions and mistreatment of people or cultures. The variety show, which ran for 120 episodes in the 1970s and features puppet characters interacting with celebrity guests, was added to Disney's streaming service last week. viewers are being shown the warning label before the episode. So this is the 1970s show that they have a disclaimer in front of. So it says the show includes negative depictions or mistreatment of people or cultures, adding that these stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. An episode hosted by Johnny Cash, in which the country star performs in front of a U.S. flag and a Confederate battle flag, was among the installments flagged by the service. Here is the actual. Let me blow this up for you so you guys can see this a little bit better. Says this program, because it has an E at the end of it, so now it's suddenly very, they spell program with 2 M's and an E. It's very sophisticated. This program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people and cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. To learn more about how stories have impacted society, please visit www.disney.com/storiesmatter. That's literally what's happening right there. That is the disclaimer that you see before I guess specific episodes. Because like I said, I went over there. I checked it out. Didn't see no disclaimers after I went through like 4 episodes. None of them had them. So it must be just very specific episodes. Now, I want to throw this out to everybody. Okay, I'm throwing this out to everybody. I'm going to open up the phone lines because I want to hear your thoughts on this particular story. Okay, 314-766-4581. Give me a call. Let me know what you think. Young Squires. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story. But I'm going to throw it over to T and see what he thinks on this, man. What do you think? Is this like too little, too late kind of thing? Or is this like overkill? Is this too woke? This might be too woke, bruh. This might just be way too woke. Too woke. Too woke. You know what I'm saying?
I would have to go back and watch some of these 70s versions of the Muppets. I mean, I watched the Muppets as a kid in the late 80s and 90s. So I recall it being a fun show, but I didn't have any grasp of course, discrimination. So I have no idea what I was watching if it was wrong. But if the creators of the show did themselves point out, inappropriateness in those segments, then I think it's a good first step to put a disclaimer on the actual show. And if they can edit out some things, that'd be great as well. That way, people are not, offended about it anymore. I mean, a lot of things historically in this country, were created to entertain groups of people based off stereotypes of other people, and it's always been that way in entertainment.
Right.
So I think it's really important to be very mindful though when it affects kids though. It's like a kids-centered show, so it's very important to to have more integrity. When you're dealing with kids. Currently there's some bad news about Dr. Seuss, being a racist as well in the past, and him having content that he published that was racist and discriminatory against Asians and Japanese people and people of color. So it's a lot of things going on that is coming to light. I think you have to be really careful about how we honor these people currently, and do our due diligence and do our homework to try to not reinforce stereotypes that are offensive.
It's very interesting this this whole thing that they are trying to do. I understand letting people know like I understand people like wanting to know that, okay, whatever my kid is about to consume, yes, this is a family show, but maybe it's a family show that's a little outdated. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like it's a little too much. I think it's a little too much. That's just, I don't know. I mean, it's too much.
Honestly, like you said, something like being too woke. And that's something that, I'm struggling with myself personally and professionally is, if someone did something wrong in the past that was really egregious, and let's say if they made amends for it and if, they took steps to fix their old ways and recover from their negative, upbringing that made, that helped shape their mind of being, a biased person. And they totally denounced themselves from the past. And, where's the point where you forgive them and you allow them to, restore themselves as a better person? Do we crucify somebody forever for an old offense? Or do we accept the newer version of them where they take blame, take responsibility, and they make actionable steps to fix those things? And also they take actionable steps to, to denounce anything of that nature going forward. So it's tough because, I'm learning about things, all the time in my field about, like I said, Dr. Seuss and other people who we grew up on thinking that they're heroes or that they're positive images, and you find some dirt on them from 50 years ago. How do you explain that? How do you explain it to kids now? How do you assess that information now? Do you ban them? Do you cancel them? Do you use their whole life story to say, hey, it was bad in the beginning, but they reformed themselves and now it's better? This is part of growth in life. Like how do you present this as being something that you can learn from?
Right.
So that's the tough part for me right now currently.
I feel like I think that there's a certain level of understanding, like there's certain things that were different back in the day. And I don't know. It's just, it's understanding. It's also like understanding that that times are going to change, and that maybe the kids aren't going to be watching a 1970s version of the Muppets. Maybe the Muppets show. Maybe they won't. But like something like Johnny Cash playing the guitar in front of a Confederate flag and the American flag. I mean, yeah, you might have those things where people go, hey, the kids might go, wait, isn't that bad? Well, it was a different time then. You know what I'm saying? And it was still bad then too. Shoot. But anyway, that's another conversation in itself. But I feel like there's certain things that need to be acknowledged. But I don't think it needs to be a situation of, here is this disclaimer before you get entertained kind of thing. I just think that it's a little too extreme. I understand the certain level of being able to, here's a heads up, here's a warning. Like last year we talked about Gone with the Wind, and that there was a disclaimer about Gone with the Wind, and there's all these other movies that have a disclaimer beforehand. And it's kind of like that thing of, is it necessary? Do we need to have that before an episode? Especially if it's a children's show. Then at the same time, I keep thinking maybe they just don't like interspecies relationships. They got a problem with they got a problem with Kermit the Frog, and they got a problem with Piggy. Real talk. They just got a problem with it. Let's get this phone call. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from? Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Immortal Badass from Minneapolis.
Hey, what's up, Immortal? How you doing, my brother?
Immortal.
What's up? With this whole Muppet thing?
Yeah.
So, I think it's okay to acknowledge that the Muppets have always been kind of on that line.
Yeah.
Like, they've always tried to entertain the adults on top of, like, kids.
Right.
So it's not something that is only for kids.
Right.
But to a certain extent, this all reminds me of the dirty stuff that's in Disney movies. Like back in the 90s or whatever, when those like mom groups or whatever came out and was like, look at all these dirty things that are in the Disney movies.
Right.
It's like me and my friends never recognized any of that stuff until it was the news. Until it was brought out to light. Oh, there's all this dirty stuff. We didn't even recognize it. We didn't even see that.
You know what? That's very, very true. Because I remember when I was when Aladdin or Lion King came out, and they would be like, "Hey, they have sex written in the stars in this particular frame," and you're like, "Nah," but you don't remember it until somebody comes up and they say, "Hey, there," you know what I mean? See, there it is. And you're like, "Whoa." It really does say sex written in the stars. That's insane. You know what I mean? But you don't see it when you're a kid. You're too busy getting, thrust into the whimsical, magical world of Disney. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and another thing, like, why do we have to put the disclaimer on, like, these essentially made-for-kid also shows when, like, especially nowadays, like, kids have access to the same adult news forecasts, and, you have parents and whatever that might be spilling out some hateful rhetoric, and, like, there's exposure on different fronts that, I don't know, like, I think the attack on, like, kid shows and everything, and it's just ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah, man.
We're like killing kids. We're killing kids' opportunity to be kids.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that, and also it's the other thing. I mean, there's one thing of like let's talk about the Muppets for a second, okay? Let's go back to the Muppets for a second, okay? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the characters, okay? You got Animal, who loves playing drums, right? You got the Swedish guy, you got that guy. You got Kermit the Frog.
Yeah.
You got who else? You got Piggy. You got Grover. You got who else? I'm trying, all the other people. They're all these other characters. They are not depicting anything racist or cultural at all. You got the other. I don't know if it's a guy or not, but it was the one where no, it's a girl, but she's like really crazy. It's like talks like this the entire time, long hair. She's like a rocker chick. You know what I mean? But that's it. But
yeah,
how is it offensive? You see what I'm saying? How is it offensive? And then why would Disney go, oh, we got to put a disclaimer on this because these are all a slew of different characters that have nothing to do, that don't represent any cultural or racial demographic at all. They're just animals.
Well, I remember them kind of somewhat bringing this up, like, I want to say like 10 or 12 years ago, somewhere like a decade ago or whatever. And it was like, it was the same time that they were associating like Warner Brothers cartoons as, whatever. But I know that there was an issue that like Piggy with the whole fat shaming, pig stuff.
There was fat shaming with Piggy. There was fat shaming with Piggy. Oh, that's a new one for me, bruh. I'm done.
Yeah, and
I'm done. I'm done.
And there was the stigma that I don't know a lot of these characters' names, but the eagle.
The eagle.
Like,
oh, I know.
eagle.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. The bald eagle? Eagle? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Where, he was projecting this, governmental stuff and whatever. And then there's also some sort of thing about the critics. The Muppet critics that.
Oh, yeah. The ones that always, the old guys that will just sit there and say, "Oh, that was terrible." Ha 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 ha. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, the old.
Like some of their jokes would be like borderline stuff or whatever.
Yeah, but I feel like that's the thing though. If it's a family show, right? There's got to be jokes for the adults too, right? There's got to be some jokes for the adults too. There might be jokes that might go over the kids' heads, but there's still jokes for the adults. Like it's a family show, so you got to have a little bit of something. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, it just doesn't make any real sense for all these people to feel like they're going to get triggered for watching an old 1970s, excuse me, an old 1970s Muppet show. You know? Just
I was
doesn't make
reading a few things. I mean, from what I see, it seems minor, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen episodes yet. But it mentioned something like the folk star Joanne Baez was doing an Indian accent. That Kenny Rogers was dressed up as an Arab person trying to find oil. And there was another depiction of Johnny Cash playing a song with the U.S. and Confederate flag in the background.
Flag, yeah. Well,
yeah. So,
I mean, okay, so then you take those mother lover episodes out, or you cut them out, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wants to see Sandy Duncan. If anybody remembers Sandy Duncan, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody wants to see these stars. It's a throwback. But you know, like I said, Immortal, thank you so much for the phone call, man, brother. I'm gonna open up these phone lines. Thank you so much for the comments.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good one, brother.
Bye.
The thing is like it just like that's what it means. Like that's what I mean by it just doesn't make any sense. Like I understand if it's like super offensive content, then I totally understand that. But it's Muppets, for crying out loud. And you have the choice. Like you have the choice. You literally have the choice to watch it or not. So if you have a problem with watching 1970s Muppets, it's going to be a little dated, by the way, you know, given the fact that it's 1970s, then don't watch it.
I'm assuming that the creators are trying to avoid any kind of legal issues. So I guess the disclaimer is a way for them warning their audience members that there may be some things that are offensive. So be, you know, aware of it. But Pascal, like you made a good point about like this, it being in that time frame. Those things were kind of acceptable, although they were wrong. There was kind of, you know, like the norm. But there's also a point where, you know, if they're not overly offensive or there aren't anything that's, I guess you would say, in those that are preaching hate, then they're pretty minor and that they can be edited out, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, and it shouldn't be like any kind of like huge backlash, especially if the Muppets company themselves put it out there as a proactive thing to do to cover themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know, and I agree. You know, I do think that. I mean, I think that we live in a different time. And if the content was created during this time, I can understand that. But this is so old. This is older content. And I feel like any person, any child that ends up wanting to watch this, well, first off, wow, you must be a cinephile, for crying out loud. You must really love movies and TV, this child, to go and watch deep dive old versions of the Muppets. But hey, some kids want to watch that stuff. And if it comes to the situation where they go, ain't that mean? Or ain't that da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Then maybe you sit down and you have that conversation with the children. Because let me be real with this too. How many children are actually going to read that freaking disclaimer before the freaking episode starts? Zero. I give you goose egg. Goose egg. None of them are going to see that. They're not going to care. There's an option before if you want to skip the intro. So they're just going to keep hitting skip the intro. They won't give two dimes. They won't give two dimes about that.
I believe that, you know, if this is something that becomes big with the Muppets, then I think everything is going to be fine-tooth combed. And think about, like, you know, current, you know, animated cartoons. You have, you know, Family Guy, you know, South Park. I mean, those ones, they go across the, you know, they cross that line a lot.
Oh,
you know, and
hell yeah. and that's a show that should definitely have multiple disclaimers because they push the envelope like a mug. And the funny thing is, there are a lot of kids that watch that show. There's a lot of kids that watch Simpsons and Family Guy and all these other adult cartoon type shows. They watch them all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? American Dad, G.A. Rose just said. You know what I mean? Like, for real. For real. Those things, and they're out here.
I remember watching Beavis and Butthead growing up.
Oh, Beavis and Butthead
was like epic. Yeah. Like,
yeah, fire. Like, come on. And then every kid was a pyromaniac at one point. You know, everyone wanted to set things on fire all the time because they were like, fire's cool. The entire time. The stupidest show on earth. My God, I hated Beavis and Butthead. That was so stupid.
That was crazy.
But people love that ish, man. People ate that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, there it is. I just think, and maybe this is going against what people would think that I would be all about, but I think it's pointless. No one's going to look at it. No one's going to see it. And no one's going to give a damn when they see it.
I mean, I have to admit, like, when it comes to comedy, it's like nothing's off limits. I feel like you can just have it within that humor bubble.
Right.
Test it, say it, do it. You know, that's how I feel about comedy.
Yeah.
But something else is different. But you know, that's the free speech. You know, is free speech itself is definitely something that makes comedy authentic in what it is. And if the joke is funny, you laugh. If it bombs, it bombs. But it came from a place where you try to be funny. At least, you know, so you don't really know until you do it.
At least you try. But then, you know, of course, it's a matter of what kind of comedy are you doing? Are you doing comedy that's going to punch down? If you're punching down, then that's counterproductive. There's no point even smirking while trying to spit out that joke at the corner of your mouth. That's what I personally think. You know what I mean? If you're going to waste your time trying to punch down at a group of people or to punch down at a person or a group of people, then you might as well just keep that joke to yourself and keep it moving, you know, or tell it to your close group of friends and be done with it and just, you know, let them laugh because they're assholes just like you. You know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much it, you know? So that's interesting. That's definitely an interesting thing. I do appreciate the phone call on that situation. You know, I do have something that I wanted to do, you know, kind of, you know, wrap up the show in a way on something a little bit positive. But I need a second to pull this thing up. Hold up 1 second. Okay. So. Something I found very, very cool, very amazing. And this is how, you know, like I keep saying, this story is dope. This story is pretty damn amazing. So, a Volusia, I guess if that's the right way to call it, a Volusia sheriff deputy caught a predator in a motel with a 13-year-old girl who had gone missing. And it was because he went basically from home to home to, or not home to home, but he went from motel to motel searching for this 13-year-old girl. And I thought this was a very, very cool story. I got the body cam footage. I'm going to show you guys that too. But this piece I just thought was really, really dope. As you see, Florida deputy rescues 13-year-old girl from motel with a 22-year-old man she met online. So, Florida deputy rescued a 13-year-old girl from motel. According to the Orlando Sentinel, the girl did not return. There we go. Sorry, did not return home from school on Thursday, and her grandmother told the police the teenager told her school friends she was going to meet someone from the internet at a motel. So, Volusia County Sheriff's Deputy Royce James, remember this man's name because this man's a mother-loving hero, checked 3 motels to see if a young girl and man had checked in and found them at the 3rd location in Edgewater, about 60 miles northeast of Orlando. So this dude drove all the way out, and went to different motels, only to find this piece of junk and this poor 13-year-old girl at the 3rd location. He got really lucky. But thank you, Jesus, for this. As body cam footage recorded early Friday morning shows, the man, later identified as Tyler Thompson, 22, answers the door in the darkened room shirtless. The deputy tells him to sit on the couch and asks where the girl is as she walks quickly into the room and towards the deputy. The deputy tells her he is with the sheriff's office and asks her if she's all right. She says yes and goes back to the bedroom at the deputy's direction. So, we got the video here. I want you guys to see it with your own 2 eyes because I thought this was actually pretty damn amazing.
And possibly was picked up by a guy here. I'm kind of wanting to get an idea of who he is, and
Around what time am I going to look for?
I'm looking at today from school gets out around 3:15ish, so I'm thinking 3 to 3:30.
I mean, is that like a super recent picture though?
She says she looks pretty much like this. It looks pretty close to her. All right, let's see if she's.
I can see. Hold on, let me. If there's any other angles out there, we can get a better.
You know, he's out here searching for hunting down a predator and trying to save a 13-year-old girl while Dua Lipa is playing in the background.
Hello. Hey, so my name is Deputy James. I'm wondering if a juvenile and another person checked in here earlier today.
This is motel number 2.
Have you seen that? Her? No, she would have been here with an unknown, probably male.
Oh, no. Okay. Motel number 3.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
If I'm correct.
I'm looking for a juvenile that looks to be ran away from home today. And we have information she may have checked in to a local hotel with an adult. This is what she looks like. Any check-ins today?
Only one check-in before I came in.
I'm investigating a runaway juvenile that supposedly checked into a local hotel today with an adult, most likely. I don't know what he looks like or anything. This is what she looks like.
All right, someone checked in earlier when I wasn't here, so let me check them.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Okay.
Is there a name for that? The last name?
Yeah. Well, she's only 13, so I don't know the person she's with. So it would have been whoever she's with.
So this must have been. This is the 3rd. This is obviously the 3rd motel.
You know who you think? She's an older person, or you have no idea?
The person she's with? No clue.
Well, check out this person that checked in today.
Where's this guy?
Eureka.
I think this is him.
He about to kick some
His name started with a T.
Come on.
Possibly Tyler.
He about to get his ass. Come on, baby.
Front office. Anybody inside? We need to come in for a second.
A hero can save us. Not gonna stand.
Sheriff's office. Back up. Have a seat on the couch. Where's
Look at that.
What's up, sweetheart? Sheriff's office.
She goes running towards him. Running towards his ass.
Get Pappy up here. Go in the bedroom and wait for me for a second. How old are you?
Come on.
How old are you?
Come on.
501 text.
Just wait there for me, sweetheart. Okay? Are you okay? Do you need any attention? Are you hurt at all? You're not hurt at all? Your stomach hurts? Okay, we're gonna be right with you, okay?
Unbelievable. Piece of trash.
How old are you? If I ask you that question again, I'm gonna lose my mind. How old are you?
If you don't tell me how old you are, I'm about to rip your head off.
Oh, you
22.
Yeah, you up real good.
Woo. That's hell of a hell of a motel room. Damn. They got a kitchen in there and everything.
How old is he?
Too old.
Two old facts.
Alright, I'm on the way.
Copy. You sure you're okay, sweetheart?
Man, okay, first off, I just want to say a huge shout out to Royce James for catching that dude. And the thing is like, he didn't give up. Royce James did not give up. He kept going. He went from one place to the next, to the next, to the next, all because a 13-year-old girl went to meet up with a dude that she met online, on the internet, guys. This is for me, this is one of the biggest fears I have. If I was a father, if I was a parent, this would be one of the biggest fears of my life, without a shadow of a doubt, that my child would be, hanging out on her phone and suddenly out of nowhere goes missing because she fell in love or found interest in some guy that she met online, unbeknownst to her, knowing what age he is, etc. Maybe she did know his age. Maybe she didn't care. But at the same time, that's one of the biggest nightmares I feel like every parent has. So huge shout out to Officer James for going out of his way and not giving up. Because God knows what would have happened to that child. God knows what would have happened to that child, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. Popo,
Trash.
That's how you popo, Popo. That's how you popo. Damn. Thank you.
Trash, man. Trash.
Yeah. There's pieces of trash like that out here, man.
That's something I never understood. I don't understand a man trying to prey onto a little kid. I mean, there's so many avenues to get an adult woman out here. You can even go get you a sex doll or something. Like, touching a kid is crazy to me.
Yeah.
You got prostitution, you got strip clubs. I mean, you have internet porn. Like, why would you ever touch a kid, man?
Yeah.
That's sick.
I mean, it's
sick.
It's very frustrating, because there's a lot of these individuals are dealing with a lot of mental issues. They have most of the time they have been abused when they were young as well. So it's just the one thing that they know. And what sucks is that they're just continuing the saga and bringing it to another child. It's almost like, it's like giving off a disease, a sickness. You know what I'm saying? So of course it is very frustrating and it makes me angry and makes me want, I feel exactly what Officer James felt when he was like, if you don't answer me, I'm going to hurt you. I will hurt you. But you have to remember that these individuals, it is definitely a sickness, and they don't know that they've done something wrong, or they know that it's something that they've done wrong, but they don't know how to treat it. Or you see what I'm saying? But absolutely, you know, outside of any of that, as a person, human being, period, knowing that is something that is wrong, I would love to have that dude in a windowless room. You know what I'm saying? And put some hurting on that dude for whatever he may have done to that 13-year-old girl. And you never know. Maybe they didn't do anything at all. You never know. You never know. But the fact that officer went out of his way and searched high and low, real talk, high and low for that 13-year-old girl, man, it just, like I said, just yesterday I did or this morning I did a video about cops that were unjustifiably arresting a black kid because he was just walking while black in the snow, right? And then at the end of the day, I'm showing a cop doing the right thing and not giving up and saving the day. You know, there are good cops out there. I'll never sit here and say that all cops are bad, because they are not. There are some good cops out there, like this officer. And I give that dude mad props. Real talk. Real freaking talk. I'm so thankful. So thankful for that story. Because I needed something that like ends on a positive. You know what I mean? Ends on a positive note a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. We already have enough trash.
Definitely a cop who went above and beyond, like by himself, though. I didn't see anybody there to back him up. So he really went on a mission to go to hotel to find this young lady. And,
he was by himself.
Save her life, and that's awesome.
Exactly.
I mean, he needs to be given all the accolades, and all the promotion and all the positive advertisements, because like you said, Pascal, all we do is see is when a cop messes up. But this is a opportunity to shine light on a cop who's going above and beyond to serve his community. Absolutely, man. Hats off to him. Yeah, huge hats off to him. That doesn't make any sense. But hats off to him for real, because without him doing what he did, that little girl would have been missing for sure and never came back. So thank God for that, But that's the show, guys. I really appreciate all y'all for being on today, this evening, and all that. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. T, thank you so much for being on, my brother. Thank you. Thank you as well. But I will be back on tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, like I always am. You know what I'm saying? So please go hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet, and join in on the conversation tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. It's going to be great. Yeah, Shay, we haven't seen you in the morning shows, man. Like, we haven't seen you, but I understand. You're studying hard. You're semestering hard, and it's okay. Keep semestering hard. We'll still be here. I promise you. I promise. You know what I'm saying? I promise you. All right, guys, have a great one. Yes. Who got a margarita? I gotta get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is the Pascal Show.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, and we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.